All right, we should be live here. It says we are. Let's refresh this feed over here. And yeah, it's refreshing now. Okay, so welcome everybody. We're going to have us a little interview here with the famous South African cosplayer, Miss Sashi. And she's feeling a little under the weather, so y'all give her a break. We're going to ask her a couple questions just because I wanted to interview a cosplayer and to see what it's kind of like to be a cosplayer. I think that's fun because a lot of people want to kind of, get started cosplaying and do that, but they don't know anything about it. They don't know what it takes to be a cosplayer, and they don't know the difference between like a real cosplayer and like a paid cosplayer sometimes. And so there's actually differences in that. And I think Sashi's a pretty good person to ask because in South Africa, it's not that prevalent to do cosplay. And like she's told me before, she's kind of gotten that started there. So, yeah, I think that'd be pretty interesting to talk to her. So we're going to get this started. First of all, say hi, Sashi. You there, Sashi? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Sashi? I think she may be having some microphone issues. We'll give her just a second. So hey guys, welcome to the feed. I'm happy that you were able to show up at 6 a.m. here. I don't know what time it is there. Why don't you guys tell me what time it is there in y'all's areas? Escape artist. Oh, hey, welcome back, Sashi. I was asking everybody what time it was where they're at. It's 13:11, so that's military time then.
Here it's 11 past 2 in the afternoon.
Oh, 2 in the afternoon there. Well, it's 6:12 in the morning here.
Isn't everyone still sleeping? I'm usually at gym that time. Well,
oh yeah, I would be at the gym right now. But my wife is asleep or she's probably trying to sleep right now. And she's probably going, that stupid guy in his live streams. But welcome, Sashi. We're going to ask you some questions. We're going to kind of find out about cosplay and a little bit about you because you're kind of a celebrity in South Africa.
No, I'm not.
And oh yeah, you're a big time celebrity. Every time I go to South Africa, they're like, you got to talk to Sashi.
Yes, every time you come here, of course.
Hey, EVS is here. Welcome, Ethan.
Hey, Ethan. Where do I see chat? Can I see it as well?
If you pull it up in YouTube and just pull up the video and then mute the video, you can see the chat.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
So you'll just keep this window up and then you'll just pull up a separate window for the chat.
Okay, let me try that.
That's great. That's awesome that we got Ethan here. Ethan is actually one of my favorites because he talks to everybody, and he interacts. Like I could never see some people getting on my little chat and talking in here. I couldn't see it happen, but that's the reason we love Uncle Ethan.
I think Uncle Ethan's much older than I am, actually.
Are you trying to say that he's old?
What are you trying to say about me?
You caught that, did you?
Uh-huh.
Well, he told me to shut up and draw over Robin Hood. Oh my gosh. So anyway, we're going to ask her a couple questions, and we're going to start with Sashi. Where are you from originally?
South Africa.
You always lived in South Africa?
I was born here. Yes.
That's cool. That's cool. Um, I've never been to South Africa, but it's on my list of things to go to do.
Really?
That
You
yeah.
must come to Cape Town.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to go because I've always wanted to go to Africa and South Africa. They say is what some of the used to be the nicer places. So
Yeah, it still is. You know, Cape Town is quite the tourist destination. We've got a big flat mountain here called Table Mountain.
that's cool. Spono Gono, I liked your Venom sketch, and Ethan says Johannesburg is nice. He's been there.
Johannesburg's okay. Cape Town's better.
Cape
So
Town's
I used
better.
to work. I used to work in Johannesburg. So I used to live in. Well, I lived in. So we got. Okay, I don't even know what all the provinces are. But I used to live in Centurion, tourist close enough to Joburg. But Joburg's really, really big and far apart. Whereas Cape Town, everything's quite close. You could pretty much walk everywhere.
Wow, that's cool.
And we got the sea. We also have the sea here. And it's freaking cold. But people come here for that and they swim in the ocean anyway.
Not me. I've got to have warm water.
When I see, well, I usually avoid beaches, but sometimes when you go and you see these people, they're just lying in the surf, just like, I don't know how they do it. It is very, very cold.
I think they call that punishment when they're training Marines. They lay the Marines out there and make them lock arms in the water. I think that's punishment. So, Sashi, how long have you been doing cosplay?
A very long time. I started in 2002, I think. Was it? I have to think.
Wow.
No, my first cosplay was 2003 when I went to Canada. I went to visit a friend there. So that was my first convention. It was Anime North in Canada.
Did you go to cosplay, or did you go to and kind of discovered cosplay?
I discovered cosplay ahead of time. So at some point in my life, I don't know when, I made a friend. He got me interested in comics, and then from there I started discovering anime, manga, and cosplay and everything. And then that kind of all just linked together. And I always, as a kid, I always liked dressing up. So
well, of course, everybody likes to be somebody else.
Yeah, I always chose to be like the poor little boy, like little hobo kid. That was always different, oddball. I'd never wanted to be a princess. I was with the odd kid out. Anyway, so yeah, that's about it. So I just saw a lot of it online. I'm like, oh my gosh, why don't we have this here? Blah 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 blah. And yeah, my friend was working in Canada. And he's like, come over, and that's about it, really.
Huh.
So I wasn't sewing at the time. I just commissioned a costume from someone, and that's it. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting that you say that. That was going to lead up to my next question. Do you make the costumes yourself, or do you have somebody else make them, or how does that happen?
I do. I make my own now. Because the problem I found with commissioning someone was that they never make it the way you want it. So
yeah, lost in translation.
Yeah. So even with the first costume, I was like, oh, I had to still fix a whole bunch of stuff. I had no clue how to sew. I didn't do very well sewing at school in any case. So I bought a machine, just taught everything myself. That's about it.
Huh. Well, how long does it typically take to make a costume?
It can be, I mean, I've made some in like a week, and others can take months. I'm also just very pedantic about my own stuff, so everything has to be extremely perfect, and if it's not, I'll rip it apart and remake it. I'll go buy more fabrics, make it over. So yeah, it depends on the costume itself, and it's very expensive. It's very, very
really
expensive. It doesn't have to be. I've seen some guys that make everything like out of cardboard, like a glue gun and cardboard. I've seen some very impressive stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very pedantic with my own work.
one time my brother wanted to be a clone trooper for Halloween. And growing up, we didn't have a whole lot of money, and there's a lot to a clone trooper costume. And so they had the helmet that you could buy at the store. I mean, it was pretty legit. So I had that covered. But then he had to have the rest of the costume because he wanted to be like one of the commanders. So he wanted like the
Yeah.
chest piece and all of that to go with the costume and the gun. So I actually made his costume, and it took from like January to October to get it done, just
Yeah.
because I was
Yeah.
trying to, get everything right. And when he got that done, he just really he was excited. He loved it, and everybody complimented it. Um, and I guess that's probably the closest we've ever gotten to do cosplay as far as that goes, because it was such a task doing the costume. I wouldn't call it a regular Halloween costume because it was
Yeah. Yeah.
pretty legit.
No, because that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. When you think of Halloween costume, you always think like a quick store bought thing you just go throw on, and that's when you think Halloween costume. That's why with cosplayers you do not compare cosplay to Halloween costumes. It's a bit of an insult.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because people see, because they see it as Halloween costumes as being cheap, and
Hmm.
cosplays it's extremely tedious.
Yeah,
A
because
lot of dedication.
Halloween costume is basically just a leotard with like print on it. A lot of
Yeah,
times, I mean, it's just a
yeah.
one piece with like some kind of computer print. Um, somebody says you can just go nude and you can just say I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. Terminator
Terminator.
reference.
Yeah. That's actually really clever. That's a good one.
That is a good one. I like that. Um, so here's my next question for you. What is your favorite character to cosplay? I think I know the answer, judging by your picture, but what's your favorite character?
I don't know. I don't have a favorite. It's kind of like my favorite is the one that I'm cosplaying at the time, I guess.
Okay. Just
I quite enjoyed Pinkie Pie because she's kind of insane, and that costume I made like in a week.
which one is
So
that?
it's My Little Pony, Pinkie Pie.
Oh,
It
that
was
is so
something I
funny.
wanted to get out very, very quickly. And it was quite fun.
That's so funny that you did a My Little Pony. I'm gonna have to track that picture down now.
I'm a big fan I'm a fan of the old My Little Pony from the
Oh, the
80s.
real one.
Hmm. I still have my collection.
Before the bronies got involved.
Oh, no, this is before the whole reboot.
So Ethan has a question for you. He says, should cosplayers choose characters that kind of resemble them already?
Um, no, they don't have to. I always did for myself because when I was younger, everyone said you look like an anime character, so it was pretty easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays with makeup and it's just there's so much you can do. There's no need to have to resemble a character. That's why there's so much crossplay as well.
Yeah. I'm getting a little bit
No,
of feedback from you on your mic, just so you know.
okay. Well, I don't know about that.
See if it,
Um,
we'll see if it clears up.
any better?
So you're saying it doesn't matter.
No, no.
Okay. Um, that's kind of a good idea too, because a lot of cosplayers they also cover their face. So I mean, it doesn't matter at that
Well,
point.
that's the thing. It's like you get because people use wigs and contact lenses and makeup, but it's just
Hmm.
they transform to a completely different character. A lot of times, and this is another thing I've experienced at events, is that people recognize me when I'm in costume, but when I'm out of costume, they don't recognize me.
Yeah.
Very strange thing.
Well,
Very strange.
it's kind of
Same,
it's kind of like a celebrity when they don't have their makeup on. Sometimes, they're just like regular people sometimes, and their hair's different and all that kind of stuff. Because you're a celebrity, Sashi.
no, I'm not. No, 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 no.
um. So let's see. What do we got up here next? What? Yeah, I guess we already know the answer, but what's the furthest you've ever traveled to do a cosplay?
Yeah, I mentioned that already. Canada, Toronto.
Canada. Yeah. How long
Yeah.
of a flight was that?
Oh, it was long. It was sure. Jeepers was. I have to think. I know you're making me think. The one, I think it was like 36 hours
God.
together, without counting like layovers and stuff. So it's just,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Over a day.
Oh, you have to get connecting flights. So I think it was from here to the UK, and then from the UK to Canada.
Yeah. The furthest I've ever traveled is I think it was 10 hours to Hawaii because you had to take a 2-hour scuttle. And then once you got to Texas, you had to take an 8-hour flight to the islands. And I almost died. Like we were in that plane, bunched up in that seat for 8 hours. And I'm not that kind of person. I like to get up and walk around. So I'm dying at that point. You can't sleep because you can't really move your seat.
Yeah.
And it was just me, just because we didn't have a movie the first one. They didn't tell us. So you didn't
Oh,
even have
that's
a
crap.
movie or anything. So you're just staring at the back of the seat. But the
Oh
second one
gosh.
we did have a movie, so I felt a little bit
Okay.
better because whoo, I gotta have a screen. Um, so when you were doing cosplay hot and heavy, how many cons did you typically go to a year?
Well, that's the thing. Gosh, okay. Let me start from the beginning. Later on. So I kind of started the cosplay trend in South Africa. Um, in 2003, there was a gaming expo in Joburg called Rage. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's some sort of geek event I can cosplay. So I cosplayed there for the first time. And I think there was like a little, I'm trying to think, like a little subgroup, like a little anime group of guys. I think they organized like a little competition. I think there was like 5 people cosplaying.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following year, in 2004, I cosplayed again by myself. No one wanted to do it. 2005, then there was a different group. Then there was a store called Anime Works, and
Mm-hmm.
they hosted competition there. You know, it only attracted like 5 to 10 people max, and this was going on for quite a while. And then at some point, I'm not sure when, it started picking up a lot more.
Yeah.
And it's in the last few years, I'd say since about 2011-ish or so, it's really picked up steam. So since I moved to Cape Town, I actually took a break from cosplay. I didn't cosplay at all. And there weren't really events. You know, there were like little gaming events popping up here and there, but there wasn't much going on. You know, it wasn't worth making costumes and spending all that money and efforts.
Yeah.
And then I started a group on Facebook because I noticed there was an interest for cosplay in Cape Town.
Mm-hmm.
Started a group on Facebook and then organized a picnic. We had 10 cosplayers show up. Then 4 months later, did the same thing again, and then more and more people kept joining and cosplaying. And then we found out about there's a comic shop in Cape Town, our local comic shop called Vita's Den. And every year they would host a free comic book day event. And since they brought cosplay into it, well, they asked me to help organize their cosplay competitions. So I usually judge their competitions.
Mm-hmm.
It just exploded. It exploded. And it's extremely popular now. Their event's also grown. So what's happened now is that their free comic book day event got so big that they had to move out of the location that they were at, you know, from the store location.
Oh, wow.
You know, so to accommodate all the people, now it's like a full-on comic convention. It's
Mm-hmm.
pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
So that's usually their events I go to every year. That's kind of like what I'm dedicated to that event each year. You know, there's other events happening. So there's Rage in Joburg. There's another gaming event called Edgy, Extreme Gaming Event here in Cape Town. And there's a few others, but FanCon, Free Comic Book Day, that's what I'm dedicated to.
Oh, okay. We're getting a little bit of a connection issue. Sashi, do you want to try disconnecting from the call and then hitting the link again and reconnecting real quick?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll be
Try
back.
that. Okay. All right, so she's going to be back in just a second. I'm going to ask her some more questions. I see where people was asking about the harassment issues. I'm going to ask her about that, and I'm also going to ask her about. I've got probably 10 more questions I'm going to ask her. Um, hey, welcome to the chat, Monster Mandy. Ethan was here earlier. I think he's just listening right now, but I was extremely happy to find out that Ethan is on the chat because he's super cool. One of these days, I may be able to afford one of his sketches on eBay when I'm making more money. But for now, I'll just stare at them until um, I'm able to get them. We'll see if she can get him back in here. Um, yeah, I can send it to you. Hold on just a second. I'm going to try to resend this to her. And then we're going to get this show on the road. All right. Hope you guys are having fun so far. No, I am. This is fun for me. I like cosplay. I've never really been able to do it, but I really like it. And, I don't know. One of these days, may have a friend or something that gets into it, and I'll be able to go see things and help out and things like that. Hope this works. Okay, I resent it, Sashi, so let's see what happens. If not, I may have to just like leave the call and get back in it. It is actually 6:30 a.m. where I'm at. Welcome, Shadow. Welcome, Venom. Oh, she's back.
Hello?
Everybody watch out.
Working?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Let's see here. It's very, very quiet. I'm going to try to. Let's see.
No, I'm getting a delay.
Okay. Let's see here. We'll try to maybe stop it and get back in it. Let's see here. It's not popping up. Try to say something else. We'll see if you pop up.
Blah, blah, blah.
It's weird. Let's try to refresh this here. You're very quiet. Okay. Microphone. Okay. You still there?
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you, but you're not in the thing. Here we go. Let's try this. Now say something.
Hello?
Yeah. We may have to just leave it and get back in it. We'll try something here. Let's try. Okay, hold on just a minute, guys. We're going to try to fix something here.